Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review of quite possibly the most overhyped Marvel Legends figure of all time. That's going to be none other than good old Spiral from the Uncanny X-Men Retro Series, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, this is brought to us by the, in this case, not so fine folks over at Hasbro, because Hasbro'd pretty hard with this one, even compared to Hasbro. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to try and make this as short, quick, and painless as possible, and most likely fail miserably in the process, but I already clicked on the video, so while I got you here, you might as well hear me out, right? So with that being said, let's cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review, taking a look-see at Spiral's accessories. She does come with a pair of extra hands just for the right side. She's got one open hand and one fist hand. The fist hand is for the robotic arm. The open hand is for the flesh tone arms. That's fine, I guess. I say if they're going to give us extra hands, go all out. Give us 3 for one side, 3 for another. Maybe 2 open hands and 1 fist for one side, and 2 fists and 1 open hand for the other side, kind of like what they did with the Doppelganger from the Molten Man Build-A-Figure wave. That was pretty cool. A much better 6-armed figure, if you ask me, despite the fact that it's not pinless and has torso articulation. That's not really my bag, you know? That said, Spiral also comes with 4 of these katana swords. I think they're the same. A couple of them looked a little short, but for the most part, they are the same. I believe they're reuse from the Silver Samurai figure, which was a much better carded X-Men Legends release, dare I say. He had his shortcomings, but he was a really nice figure. That said, she also comes with the Angela axe for some reason. Another superior figure to this one. We will be busting out for comparison because I want to show you guys what my favorite female Marvel Legend is, in case you forgot. But she comes with that. And then last but not least, she of course comes with Angela's sword. Proof that Angela was a really awesome figure because this jerk stole 2 of her weapons. That's it. Taking a closer look at Spiral here. Now, don't get it twisted. This thing looks great if you don't touch it. She has a very nice sculpt. I like the sculpt on the abs. She doesn't have breasts like a 13-year-old. She's got pretty chunky thighs there for a, you know, strong female comic book character. She's got a nice booty, if you're into that sort of thing. And then, of course, she has the 6 arms. So she kind of looks like the Hindu god of destruction, Shiva. So that ticks all kinds of boxes for me because I like that character design. And I like this character design. However, looking good and feeling good in hand are 2 different things. She looks great. Don't get it twisted. She looks fantastic. She feels like a dumpster fire. She is the hottest of hot garbage as far as gummy plastic goes. And before some of you guys give me crap and just say, hey, you're just being a hater, Dave from Display Model Behavior sold his for being gummy. So obviously I'm not the only one who feels that the gummy plastic really, really, really kills the buzz with this figure. But yet it's still the best female Marvel Legends of all time. Why? Because it has 6 arms, double jointed pinless bicep swivel arms. The old one had pinless arms. They just had hinge swivel elbows. It was short like one joint. What's the big deal? Other than the head probably looking a lot better on this one than that old one, I don't really see how that old one was all that bad. That said, I also don't have it, so I can't really say for sure, but I'd almost rather get the old one and see if this new one's head fits on it, because that one's at least not going to be gummy. But that aside, as far as her articulation goes, while we're on the topic of that, the head pretty much just rotates, because there, That's understandable. She's got a nice bobbly torso if you're into that. Just kind of flops around. That's nice, but you can rotate it. You can crunch it back and forth. It feels pretty flimsy, but it doesn't feel like it's going to break. The shoulders can rotate individually, of course. They can hinge up and down as well. She does have a bicep twist, which is gummy as all hell on this figure. Hence why it's a piece of garbage to me. She does have a double elbow, but good luck getting the top one to bend on most of these arms. It's very, very tight, and you could snap the bicep peg if you're not careful. That said, I took some precautions before I filmed this review to try get a little bit of enjoyment out of this figure. Shocker, it didn't work, otherwise I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying right now. But I took her apart carefully. I heated up each of these arms, put a dab of soap in there, popped them back together, did a little trimming on the pegs so that they were a little smaller, they weren't as snug in the holes, and loosened her up a bit so she doesn't feel like she's going to shear over time. That said, I shouldn't have to do all that, and on top of that, I had to do it on the thighs and the calves as well. So, you know, this thing is just probably the worst gummy figure they've ever released, I'm not going to lie. That said, she does have swivel wrists with the right hinge for holding weapons, surprisingly. And if we move these arms out of the way, her hips can kick out to the side. Okay. They kick back down, they kick forward and back. She does have a thigh cut, which again works so much better now that I went and modified it. She's got double knee. And then she has the boots with the fur. And the calf cut is underneath that, like way up here. I don't know why it's not like down here, closer to the foot. Because A, it'd be easier to get to. B, it'd probably get more range. And C, it'd feel less fragile, maybe. Granted, I modified those too, but it still doesn't feel great. And then she has a hinge in the foot with a rocker. And peg holes in the bottom of her feet, because if yours is like mine, she has a lot of trouble standing. So, best female Marvel Legends, huh? And not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. Because this is arguably one of the worst Marvel Legends I think I've ever messed with. And I've messed with some bad ones, but at least they didn't feel like they were going to break in my hand, you know? I didn't have to fix them to enjoy them. But this one, I had to fix quite a bit, and still not satisfied with it, man. Not for the price point. So this one is going to get a double thumbs down from yours truly. I'm sorry, Marvel Legends community, but I don't care what is the hottest thing in Marvel Legends. If I personally cannot find enjoyment in it, then I'm not going to kiss its ass. That's the end of the story. So, with that being said, why don't we actually bust out a couple good female Marvel Legends figures and take a look at some size comparisons with not so good old Spiral here. First up, and as promised, here is, as I mentioned before, not so good old Spiral alongside a couple of far superior, in my opinion, female Marvel Legends figures. We have the recently-ish released Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest Black Widow, which was a Target exclusive. Very nice figure. A lot of people's #1 Marvel Legends figure of 2023. Myself not included in that conversation. I just don't have as much attachment to the character as a lot of other people, but it is the best Black Widow we've ever had, and arguably the best pinless female Marvel Legends body we've ever had, because the Shriek body mold, it's okay, but this one does have a couple more articulation points that are actually useful, so I'm all for that. That said, we also have my personal favorite female Marvel Legends figure, the Titus Build-A-Figure Wave, which if I'm not mistaken was for Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2, was it? Either way, it's Angela, who, if you know me, you know I'm a big Spawn fan, very near and dear to my heart ever since the old Overlord Toy Reviews channel, where I reviewed a lot of the vintage Spawn line. A lot of those videos are still up, by the way. If you search around, you can find them, as well as my review of this Angela figure. That said, if I'm not mistaken, I did a Flashback Friday of her, because she is definitely worthy of being in anyone's Legends collection, because if you ask me, this is the best female Marvel Legends figure, pins and all. She is firing on all cylinders, and to this day is still my favorite female Marvel Legends figure, despite the fact that she is a little dated in the articulation department. Hell, she was good enough for Spiral to swipe a couple of her weapons, so there is that going for her. That said, I'll move these two out of the way, and notice, as I knock stuff down behind camera here, hopefully you didn't get a glimpse of that. That's spoilers for the future. Black Widow's arm here, look at how nice and smooth that moves, and how not gummy it is. Excellent. Excellent articulation on this figure. Very, very nice quality. But before we wrap this up, this of course would not be one of my reviews without bringing in the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulas. And the infamous 11th Spawn, who as usual towers over everyone. Now, if I'm not mistaken, shouldn't Spiral be like She-Hulk size? Seems like she should be a little taller, but at any rate, just a couple more far superior figures compared to this, quite frankly, waste of my time. So, with that being said, it is time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and what else can I possibly say about poor old Spiral here that hasn't already been said throughout the entirety of this review? This right here is the prime example as to why I stopped collecting Marvel Legends. That gummy plastic for me is the ultimate deal breaker, because if it feels like it's going to break in my hands, then to me it's not worth owning. This figure is, in my opinion, overhyped, overrated, and not the best female Marvel Legends by a long shot. And no, that's not a Mojo World pun, that's a statement. So, if you're really jonesing for a quality female Marvel Legends figure and have the extra cash, I would seek out the Target exclusive Black Widow or the Titus Build-A-Figure Wave Angela. Those are two of the best female Marvel Legends figures, in my opinion, from two completely different eras. Angela's rocking the pins, but feels a lot more solid than poor old Spiral here. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, for better or for worse. Don't worry, in the next few days, we're going to be moving on to much better and brighter things. But until then, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.